Welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me, as always, is new Mike Dell, Kevin Jank.
Great hog, Mike Dell.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Why don't you tell the people what we're reading today, Jank?
So today we're going to be reading Peter Porker, The Spectacular Spider-Ham, number 15 from 1987, I do believe.
Yes, Peter Porker, The Spectacular Spider-Ham. It's just Spider-Man, but with animals.
Yeah. Like a Howard the Duck world, but everybody's different animals.
And this Spider-Man is a pig. But...
or is he actually a spider?
Yeah, I had no idea this was his origin. Were you aware of this?
No. This is a bizarre origin.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it.
It went out the box, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, this issue reveals the true origin of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, and it may not be what you expected.
No.
All right.
Move to wait till issue 15 to finally get to the origin.
So... All right, so before we get into that, let's remind you, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're up to 238 subscribers, Jank. We picked up three, so that's pretty good.
Halfway, 250.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. And also, buy my book, Monkey Flip.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there. Pretty great.
The audiobook on Monday.
Oh, you finished it?
Yep.
Would you like to give a review, Jack?
Well, I've already left reviews on Audible and Amazon.
Oh, I haven't noticed. I'll have to go and check. Well, thank you, Kevin Jack.
It's 5 stars.
I appreciate it. And, it's about a talking chimp detective. You'll love it. And, hey, I'm also trying to grow my author mailing list, list.19books.com. And I saw one Kevin Jank subscribe the other day.
That's right.
Did you enjoy your first letter?
Yes. Sure.
So there you go. All right, Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. We did an issue of this years ago. You weren't here. It was just me and Mike L. I believe it was issue 2. And I recall it wasn't very good.
After reading this, I'm so shocked.
I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. But I think this was way better than that one. So, yeah.
I shudder of what that one was.
Because when I was a kid, this year Peter Porker came out, I was about 11 when he came out, a little bit earlier maybe. But I enjoyed it just because it was Spider-Man, but a pig. That's all you need.
Yep. Exactly. It's a good name, like Peter Porker. That makes sense. It's like, I get it. This is like a Mad Magazine parody. This could be fun. I've always had affinity for the character, even though I've never actually read any of these old stories. Maybe a little bit less after reading it.
Oh, well, he got back into popularity because of the movie, right? What was that movie?
Into the Spider-Verse or one of those.
Yes. It was that one, yeah. He popped up in there again, and I think it brought him back to relevance a little bit. But, Peter Porker, he was created by Tom DeFalco and Larry Hama, and Mark Armstrong. Took 3 people to create Peter Porker. His first appearance was in Marvel Tales, and that's spelled Tails, starring Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, November of 1983. Then he got his own series that lasted 17 issues from 1985 until 1987. And I think it was published bi-monthly. And after the series ended, he appeared as a backup feature in 32 issues of Marvel Tales, Tales, beginning with issue 201 in 1987. And he also appeared in 6 issues of What the, which we've done on this show before. It's just a parody comic. Lots of jokes. And that was between 1988 and 1993. He had a 5-issue series in 2020. That was just called Spider-Ham. And I think that was in response to that movie. They brought him back there for...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They're giving every Spider person available their own series.
Now, is there anything else we need? Because that's it. That's the whole premise of the book. He's just Spider-Man, but a pig. Right?
Yeah, and the supporting cast is all different animals, and yeah, that's basically it. It's just a parody comic kind of Spider-Man, which, in theory, sounds good. Comics
Wow,
are
I'm
a little
surprised.
dramatic.
I'm
You definitely have
surprised
starch taken out of them a little bit.
that you didn't really enjoy this. All right, the writer here is
I hate it, I'll say that.
the writer here is a fellow named Steve Meller, Mellor. He has 15 writing credits at Marvel, including that first Marvel Tales issue, Tails, and he did Peter Porker issues 2, 5, 12, 15, 16, and then Marvel Tales 201 to 204, and 207 to 210, and Spider-Ham 1 in 2020. So
Came back.
basically, yeah, if he wasn't writing Peter Porker, he wasn't writing anything. So everything he did was Peter Porker related. He also has 10 penciling credits, including that first Marvel Tales issue and 9 Peter Porker issues. And he actually drew the second story in this book.
Okay.
There's a little backup story
backup.
from the Avengers. Yeah. So that's something. The main artist for Peter Porker is a fellow named Joe Albello, Aldelo, and he has 22 penciling credits, including What If issue 34, 11 issues of Peter Porker, 6 issues of Marvel Tales, and Spider-Ham issue 1 from 2020. So he came back as well. And that's basically all they've ever done in Marvel. And so
they were just put on this earth bacon puns. That's about it.
And then that backup story, we mentioned it was drawn by Steve Meller. I'm guessing this is his brother, Mike Meller, was the writer of it. And he had 8 writing credits, all Peter Porker related, and 3 penciling credits, all Peter Porker related. So,
Wow, it's a family affair.
But it's weird that they didn't create the character, yet they were so involved in it.
Yeah, they really took the football and ran with it.
Yeah, it's strange. And we should mention Peter Porker was published under the Star Comics.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Marvel's child imprint.
What other kind of stuff? They did Muppet Babies too, I remember, right?
Yeah, Flintstone Kids. I had one of those. I think the Marvel He-Man books and Thundercats were under Star.
Yeah.
Maybe like Mad Balls, I want to say. Their own comic for
Those balls are mad. So. All right, well, let's look at the cover. And this cover is a parody of a very famous Spider-Man issue. Do you know what issue it is, Jay?
I believe it's Amazing number 50.
That is correct, from 1967, where Peter Parker decides to give up being Spider-Man.
Spider-Man no more.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's a classic tale.
So, why don't you describe it?
They also homage this again later on. Like, I think right before the Clone Saga officially started, there was an issue that had a very similar cover where Peter was, so upset about his life as Peter Parker that he was quitting being Peter Parker. So it was like Peter Parker, him and Spider-Man were switched places. But yeah, this cover, we got the little Star Comics logo there in the corner box, and there's Spider-Ham swinging around. And it says, then we get the title over, it says Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. The logo is not very spectacular. The Peter Porker is very balloon letters. They're kind of rounded off and stuff like that. I guess they're trying to make it more cartoony. That's fine. But then the comic itself is mostly red. There's a lot of red in the background and on the ground. And you got a giant, like, superimposed image behind where Peter Porker is walking of Spider-Ham. He's got a tear rolling down his cheek as Peter Porker is walking away from him in the foreground. He's got his hand up being like, no more. Get out of here, Spider-Ham.
Yeah, now a couple things to point out about this. You mentioned the title there is the Spider-Ham. It's outlined in green, and there's webbing around some of the letters, and they just colored the webbing green too. So it's not very pleasant to look at.
That spider is very sick and needs to go.
And you mentioned Peter Porker's walking toward us, and he's dressed in his normal clothing there. What's up with that shirt?
That's a good question.
He's wearing.
He's got like a ugly Christmas sweater almost going on. So it's all yellow and with like blue cuffs, and then there's a bunch of blue triangles all over it.
And a blue collar too. I don't know what's going on here. And he also has a giant belt buckle.
You think that would give him away as Spider-Ham right there? Why do you have like a flashlight in your belt buckle? And probably has like a big spider symbol on the wall.
But I like when he's in a Spider-Ham outfit because, like, it's perfect. Like, the back of it, instead of having the big spider in the back, he has a big pig with 8 legs on the back.
Be great. Yeah.
And he's weeping. It's a pretty great cover. Yeah, it's a good cover. All right, so we open it up, and we see Stan Lee presents Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, into Oink or Not to Oink, or The Days of Swine and Roses.
Yeah.
So they had 2 puns, couldn't decide which one to use. Let's use them both.
I'm sure they used every conceivable pun in the 17 issues that the series ran.
Now, Peter Porker, he works, do you know the name of the paper? It's not the Daily Bugle, is it? It's the Daily something. The Daily Beagle. Yeah, the Daily Beagle. Like a dog. Yep. So, now, his J. Jonah Jameson is J. Jonah Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a jackal.
I would have gone with J. Jackal Jameson. But that's just me.
And he's got 3 buddies at the paper that he works with. One is J. Jonah's nephew. I forget what his name is. We'll call him Jimmy.
Sure.
And he's just he's kind of like a rich little spoiled kid. And he only got the job because he's Jonah's nephew, you know. But they become buddies with him. Yep. And then we have a bunny. I don't know what his name is. We'll call him Jimmy too. And he's a rabbit. And
yep.
And then we have a black cat. I love black cats, you know. And his name is Jimmy 3, but he's always wearing wacky outfits, and he's got crazy sunglasses on.
He's looks to be wearing a pig mask in this first one, like he's envious of Peter. He wants to be a pig.
No, I think they're just pink sunglasses that he wears. Weird, like he's a punk rocker. He's always got checkerboard outfits and stuff, and you know,
my kind of dude.
Very 80s. So when we open up this book, Jonah is sitting in a chair and he's strapped to the executive think tank. And it's like this machine and it's got a helmet, kind of like Professor Xavier and Cerebro there. But he's trying to come up with ideas. And those other little 3 buddies there, his nephew, the bunny, and the cat are sitting there watching him. And he says, "Hey, I got an idea." What's his idea, Jack? Does he reveal it here, or do we have to find it?
No, he doesn't reveal it here, but he sees Peter Porker on the way out. Like, they're all running out, and he's like, "Porker, you and your camera meet us at 5:00 sharp at the Junior Newsboy Clubhouse. Let's go, man. We've got big preparations to make."
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's got to meet him later, and then he's going to find out the big news.
So they
Peter Porker's got his eyes.
They make their exit. But look at Peter Porker's shirt here, Jank. It's the same shirt, but now it's white and blue.
Oh, he's got different variants. The Bill Cosby of triangle sweaters.
And he also works with some foxy ladies. Why don't you walk us through this one?
Yeah. Well, we got Betty Brant here, you know, this world's version of Betty Brant, who is Jonah's secretary. And apparently Peter Porker, just like in our universe, has been dating her on and off or something. They've had a couple of dates. And he's like, "Oh boy, I'm going to go see Betty, and she's going to probably want to go on a date with me this Saturday. It's going to go great."
I like when he's thinking, he describes what she looks like, and he's like, "I always loved those big translucent ears of hers, and the way her nose crawls every which way all over her face."
And her natural leathery complexion. I was like, "Oh, he must be describing Sybil Danning."
How dare you? I knew you were going to do that as soon as it started. I knew it. What a creep. But yeah, this Betty Brant, she's a real looker. So she's going over to get some water out of the water machine, and Peter goes over to talk to her. And what happens, Jack?
He just goes up full of false confidence here. He's just like, "Looking good, Betty. So how's about a date?" And she just spits all the water right in his face. Full on fire hose action.
So he's all soggy. And the other guys in the newsroom are all laughing at him. Hey, look at you, you're drenched.
My good time sweater. Now it's going to shrink.
So he walks into the men's room there, or the pig's room, or whatever it is, and he dries his head in the hot air blower there. And then he comes back out to talk to Betty again, except this time he says, I'll show her I'm a rational, well-mannered mammal who doesn't have to resort to the childish gamesmanship of the emotionally sophomoric. So he's going to show that, he's a gentleman and everything's cool. And what happens?
Well, he taps her on the shoulder and says, pardon me, Batty. And then he sticks his hands, in his ears and gives her a raspberry, basically. He does the whole...
She storms off again. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm such a jerk. What was I even doing,
Yeah. He's public schlub number one.
He says, as Spider-Ham, I may reap the applause and admiration of millions, but as Peter Porker, I can't even rustle up one lousy date for a Saturday night. Aw, poor Peter Porker. So.
At least he's had a date this century, which is more than either of us can.
So he says, all because of the stupid compulsion I have to dress up in flashy underwear and go around bopping baddies and aiding the innocent. What a sap I've been. So he's just storming around the newsroom, but he's just thinking this in his head. But everyone's gathering, watching him just spin around in circles in the newsroom and having
and he's down on his down on his knees and just tears flowing everywhere. And everyone's kind of crowding around him watching this. And eventually the janitor shows up to mop up his tears.
Well, he tells, I think he's going to make him off.
Yeah, I'm off someplace else. I just wax this floor.
So he's come to the conclusion that he's got to give up being Spider-Man. He's just so miserable, or Spider-Ham. He's just so miserable. But now, Jank, we get the flashback to his true origin story.
Normally, I feel like when Spider-Man gives up being Spider-Man, it's for, he's got a lot of stuff going on. This is just one girl didn't want to go on a date with him. That's it. No more Spider-Ham.
But I'm guessing this is just the last straw that broke the camel's back. He's probably been having a rough go of it here in these first 14 issues. But then when we turn the page, we get to his real origin story. And look, he actually is a spider. Okay?
Yep. He is a full-on spider.
But he's wearing the same shirt. But it's all orange. No.
Yep. Apparently when he got bitten by that, he gets his radioactive bite here, and he loses a bunch of those limbs, but apparently they were just able to cut those off of the sweater, basically.
Yeah, he still has the sweater. But he's a spider with hair and glasses, and he's wearing the same sweater, and he's got pants and shoes on, and he's up in a cobweb in the corner of the basement laboratory of one May Porker, super genius.
That's quite the swing and from normal continuity there. Normally May Parker is just, her scientific genius is coming up with the new recipe for wheat cakes every morning.
Yeah, wheat cakes. She loves making wheat cakes.
Yeah.
But this May Porker, she's down in her basement. She's working on a new machine. She says the introduction of nuclear fission into America's beauty salons is going to revolutionize the hair care industry. And so, but she talks talks to Peter, the little spider. She calls him Peter, and she says, "My little arachnid friend, you are about to witness the culmination of my lifelong struggle. No longer shall I toil in virtual obscurity. With the flip of this little switch, a new age shall dawn, and I will bask in the acclamation of scientists and hairdressers everywhere." So,
lofty ambitions.
Yeah. So she flips the switch. She's going to dry her hair with this nuclear fission machine, but instead, it just makes her radioactive, and she starts going loopy. And what does she do, Jank?
Well, she walks right over to Peter's spiderweb there and grabs him and just tries to bite his head off, pretty much. Full on chomps on his noggin, and then passes out. So she doesn't see what happens next, where Peter starts growing at an unusual rate and loses his extra arms. And he's like, I'm growing, changing into something else. Arg! And then now he's a pig.
He's a pig.
So bitten by a pig lady, he is now turned from a spider into a pig, but he retains some of his spider-like abilities in this new pig form.
Yeah, so I thought this was genius. In our world, Peter Parker gets bit by a radioactive spider. In this world, the spider gets bitten by a radioactive pig. Pretty great.
Yeah, it's a nice twist. I'll give it that. They at least put some effort there.
Now, he's all woozy and stuff from the transformation, so he's wandering around. May Porker's still passed out. But he goes outside, and he almost gets run over by a car, but he jumps, and he clings to the wall of the building, and then he can just climb up the building like Spider-Man. I like this, though. When he gets to the top of the building, he says, "Gosh, when I grabbed this steel pipe, it crumpled like cardboard in my hand." And there's a janitor at the top of the building, just like there was at the Daily Beagle. And the janitor says, "Hey, pal, what's the idea of grabbing my steel pipe and crumpling it like cardboard in your hand?" Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah. But then he just crawls across a clothesline, and he gets back to May's house, and he goes down to check on her in the basement, and she's coming to, but she has no recollection of what happened, and she thinks that he is her nephew, Peter.
Yep. Unclear if she ever actually had a nephew, or she's just completely gone, all old meal to the eyebrows. And
That's right. Yeah, I think she's just loopy. I don't think she ever had a nephew. I think she's just crazy lady now. And she apparently lost all her scientific genius, and that also got transferred to Peter.
That's right.
He's now a whiz with the technology now. And she's just a friendly old grandma. And she wants to go bake him some cookies, right?
That's nice of her.
Yeah.
This could be worse. Things kind of worked out in his favor here.
Yeah, so he's like, well, all right, I guess I'll just live with May. She's my aunt. And he goes upstairs and he starts working on web sheeters. And he makes up some web sheeters in a fancy costume. And he's ready to be Spider-Ham. So how about that?
Yeah.
What an origin. Now, I'd watch that origin 7 times in different movies if they wanted to keep going. But
Spider-Man movie.
But now we're cut back to the present day, and old Peter Porker is walking across the street. And who does he run into, Jack?
I forget what they call him here, but let's see. It's the Flash Thompson analog. Oh, Flash Tomcat. And his girlfriend, Liz Alley Cat.
Yeah, Liz Alley Cat, I think. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And he's giving him shit. He's like, yeah, get out of the street, nerd. And Flash kind of drives off. He's like, I'd pulverize you for that last remark, porkhead, but me and Liz are already late for an evening of fun. See you in the woodwork, creep. And Liz is just loving it. She's laughing her ass off.
So he makes his way to the junior newsboy clubhouse, and it's quite the clubhouse. It's got a big sign, spotlights outdoors, but it says no junior newsgirls allowed. so he goes in and he gets quite the surprise. J. Jonah Jackal, he came up, his big idea was to become a superhero.
Him and his 3 cronies there, they've all become superheroes.
He is now the Black Jackal, and the 3 little newsboys are his Beagle Brigadeers. And the rabbit has become Bullet Bunny. And
this one's my...
he's got big red shoes, a little red outfit, red glasses, and a bullet on his head.
Yep.
Bullet Bunny. And next up, the Black Cat becomes Power Puss.
Oh, that's the best name ever.
And now his crazy glasses are blue. He's got a green and yellow outfit, but he's got these power gauntlets, like these big iron fists that he wears. And then
like
like this Hulk hands, that's right. And then his nephew becomes Invisi Jackal Jr. And he's just invisible.
Shot that one.
Yeah, we could have done something better there, I think. But so what do you think of the Beagle Brigadiers and Black Jackal?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, pretty interesting that these news people were able to come up with these incredible superhero or superpower giving costumes within a matter of hours.
Yeah, we should mention Jonah. It's an all black outfit, like a black bodysuit. He's got a lightning bolt on his nose and on his chest.
I got like a little cop hat going on.
Yeah. Blue gloves, blue boots. So Powerpuss demonstrates that he just takes out an Uzi and shoots Jonah in the chest, and the bullets just bounce off his chest.
It's such a dense woven fabric that it could stop any kind of physical harm, apparently.
And Bullet Bunny zipping around the room, flying around. Powerpuss lifts up a big block that says several tons on it. I don't know where they got one of those. But.
Yeah. He's like, he can lift several tons. And he's literally lifting a thing that says several tons on it.
And then the other one's just invisible. And they also got their own car. They have a name for the car?
I want to say the Beagle Mobile, but...
Yeah, I think that is what it is. The fabulous new improved multifunction daily Beagle Mobile.
Yeah.
About that.
They're going to go out and fight some crime, and they want Peter Porker to photograph the whole thing and document everything.
Yeah, that was his big idea. Instead of trying to always track down Spider-Ham and get pictures and stories about Spider-Ham, he'll just become his own superhero, and then Porker will follow them around, and they'll have their own stories, so they don't have to do it. Yeah.
Does he know that's already basically what Peter's doing?
So they're driving around town, though, and they run into two people, Jake.
Oh, boy, do they. So they run into Andy Warthog, the Andy Warhol analog here, and his buddy Mick Jaguar. Apparently is Mick Jagger.
He's got big lips.
They're going to a fancy party, and they're like, hey, you guys want to come? They're like, oh, cool. That sounds like a good idea. That's what crime fighters should do.
Yeah, because I guess this Andy Warthog, he's buddies with J. Jonah, and he recognized him even though he's in his outfit. He's like, yeah, I'd recognize you anywhere there, Jonah. So,
out of here, pretty noticeable.
So they're going to Andy Warthog's party, and, on the wall there's the Campbell soup cans and everything, and all that kind of stuff. There are a bunch of celebrities at this party, Jack.
Oh, boy, are they. So many.
I have a list of all their names here. Let me,
I think they list most of them, in the dialogue here. Veritable panoply of famous countenances from the entertainment industry, I must say. Dig it. There's Bruce Spring Chicken, Sybil Sheepdog, Whoopi Goldfish, Meryl Peep, and Truman Coyote.
But there are more.
Yep. Next panel is where it really gets good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not to mention Mel Gibbon, Rebecca DeMunkey. She's my favorite. That's why I picked this issue, to be honest, as I saw that there was a character named Rebecca DeMunkey. This was her only appearance. I'm like, well, now I know what to pick for Apes Go in August.
Apes Go in August, or August, or Apes Go in August. August. Going 8 for August. Yeah, whatever. Rebecca DeMunkey. All right, there's more.
Dinosaur, Barry Manatee, Barbara Mandrill, and Buddy Gecko.
There's a couple other ones listed here in the Marvel Fanfare page. There's a Prance.
Nice.
Engelbert Hummingbird.
Oh, I think he gets mentioned later on, yeah.
And Dr. Ruth West Hamster.
Yeah, I think they say she was coming later.
Now, everyone's pretty recognizable there, except for that one guy. I had no idea. Buddy Gecko? Who in the blue hell's Buddy Gecko?
The same question. I had no clue.
I looked him up, and apparently there's a singer called Buddy Greco.
Ooh, I should have gone Richard Gecko.
Yeah.
At least like Richard Grieco is.
But I've never heard of Buddy Greco, but I guess he was a famous singer in like the 50s or 60s or something. I don't know, but no idea.
Yeah, like Ollie took all the Buddy notoriety. There wasn't much left for Buddy Greco.
I like Barbara Mandrell. Do you remember Barbara Mandrell? Do you remember her?
I do remember the name. I think mostly because there was a Mindless Self-Indulgence song that mentions her.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. But yeah, when I was a kid, Barbara Mandrell was super popular. Like, she had her own variety show with her sisters, the Mandrell sisters and everything. And, yeah, she was all the rage, so. Yeah. All right. So yeah, they're at this party. They're all enjoying, all these celebrities just milling about. And what happens though?
Well, they get attacked. Into the skylight comes the Hobgobbler, a turkey version of the Hobgoblin.
That's right.
And he's here to snatch up Barbara Mandrill. Gonna take her away.
Yep. And he just kidnaps her.
Like a supervillain, and you want to just go around capturing country stars? Do it with my blessing. Keep them for as long as you like.
So yeah, he scoops up Barbara Mandrill and he flies back out the skylight there. And old Warthog says, "Hey, the Black Jackal and his Beagle Brigadiers will stop that foul. Where the heck are they anyway?" But they had all passed out. They all got boozed up and passed out, I guess.
Yep. They partied too hard.
So now Peter Porker's like, I'm not going to save that lady. I gave up being Spider-Ham.
Yeah, that was 20 minutes ago. I gave up forever.
But then he realizes then again the police force could never handle that airborne mischief maker. He's far too powerful, and more innocent citizens would only be harmed in the fray.
They do.
Yeah. Only Spider-Ham knows the Hobgobbler's sinister tricks and weak points. Only Spider-Ham has the strength and the agility to foil that feathered felon. And so, the next panel, we see Spider-Ham swinging through the sky.
Yep. Back at it.
What does Mick Jaguar say here? Suffering buffaloes. It's Spider-Ham. All right.
Yeah, who knew? Now, I do like in this next panel that the Hobgobbler's gobbler glider has a little wobble thing on it, too.
And what is he? Is he throwing tomatoes at him, or what's he throwing at him?
Yeah, he's just throwing tomatoes. Apparently, instead of pumpkin bombs, he just has tomato bombs, which basically are just tomatoes. They don't seem to explode. He's just throwing tomatoes like he's at like a bad comedy show.
So Spider-Ham dodges his tomatoes, and then he makes a slingshot off one of the roofs with his webbing, and he goes flying through the air, and he punches the Hobgobbler in the face, and Barbara Mandrill falls, but he swings by, snatches her up, and swings to safety, and the Hobgobbler just flies away. He's all loopy still from the punch, I guess.
I only had 5 tomatoes, and I used them all.
But Barbara Mandrill looks like she's swooning over Spider-Ham here,
Yeah. He couldn't get a date with Batty, but he could probably get a date with Barbara Mandrill here.
But he doesn't really force the issue here at all with Barbara Mandrill. He doesn't do anything.
I think like the rest of the newsboys, he's just too tuckered out now.
Yeah, he gets in the news or the Daily Beagle mobile, and he's driving all the other ones home, and they're all still sleeping. And the next morning, he finally gets home, and May's there, and she says, "Hey, Peter, I got someone I want you to meet, And he says, I don't know, Aunt May, I'm pretty tired. She says, "No, come on, I want you to meet somebody." And who does she have there, Jack?
Yeah, my good friend's niece. She's really wanting to meet you. There she is, Mary Jane Waterbuffalo. Kind of dressed like Pebbles from the Flintstones a little
bit. She's pretty foxy water buffalo. And she's like, "Hey there, Petey.
A dish.
Your aunt told me you were cute, but I'd say gorgeous would be a better choice of adjectives." Yeah, and he says, "Wow, what a dish." So they go in to have dinner.
Now, you just hit the jackpot.
Look at this next panel, though, when May's leading him into the dining room. Where are Peter's eyes? Looking right at her boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter. But,
nice horns.
Peter passes out while they're eating dinner. He's so sleepy. And May says, "Peter doesn't usually behave this way, Mary Jane. It must be a vitamin deficiency." And she says, "That's okay, Mrs. Porker." Sigh, "I think he's adorable."
Ooh.
Look at that. She's in love with Peter Porker.
Peter Porker's going to get some of that hot buffalo action.
And that's the end of the story. Looks like love has finally found Peter Porker. For more romance adventure in the Black Jackal and his Beagle Brigadiers, what's your newsstand for each and every issue of Spider-Ham?
So do you think they actually come back? Like they actually keep doing this Beagle Brigadiers thing?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, they only had 2 more cracks at it, so.
Yeah, a very short run at it.
But I guess they picked it up in Marvel Tales then, so they're probably doing more. But, all right, so we get a backup story, The Mighty Scavengers.
Yeah.
It's your Avengers parody. And I don't know what kind of animals these people are exactly. Oh, Quicksilver's a duck.
Yep. Scarlet Witch she's the Scarlet Pooch or something. So
Yeah, that's right. Scarlet Pooch. Vision was the one that was confusing me, but I'm looking at Vision. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell that was supposed to be Black Panther for the longest time. I'm like,
yeah, he's Black Panda.
His chest, he's like dark blue instead of black. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Black Panda. And does anyone call Vision by his name, or like, is there a
Pigeon? Oh, yeah, you're not kidding. Pigeon.
There you go.
Yeah, so it must be a pigeon.
And Hawkeye's name is Squawk Eye, and Quicksilver is Quacksilver.
Yep. He looks very duck-like.
Yeah.
Kind of Donald or Daffy-like.
So Vision is mad. He calls all the troops together, and he says, bad news, troops. I spotted these tabloids at the supermarket. And there's a bunch of headlines. Scarlet Pooch dumps Black Panda. Pets with pigeon. Holy hell. And Squawk Eye flies coop on hummingbird.
Ooh.
Wait, is that a Mockingbird reference to hummingbird?
Yeah, gotta be. You think she could still just be Mockingbird? She's already an animal.
Yeah. And Quacksilver and Scarlet Pooch, brother and sister. What?
Getting some Game of Thrones stuff right here.
So Pigeon's old visionary. He's like, this is a disgrace. We need to do something to distract these tabloids. You know, we need to be heroic or save the day or something, so they can
catch us a supervillain.
Yeah. So who do they go after, Jack?
Well, apparently all the real celebrity arch enemies are spoken for, so they have to go into the future, and they're going to go after Kangaroo the Conqueror because he's enslaving the 20th century. Although I don't know how they thought this was going to work. Like, we're going to go into the future, get a guy that nobody here knows about, and bring him back and just say he's a terrible criminal, and they're going to be impressed.
I also don't know how they have a time machine, but they do.
Aunt May probably did it before she bit Peter when she was still
it's just a little orange ball they climb in, and they go flying through the future, and they see Kangaroo guy there, Kang the Kangaroo or whatever, and he's smitten with Scarlet Pooch right away.
Everyone is. Apparently the tabloids have her hooking up with everybody, and everyone in the future wants her.
So he's like, hey, I want this Scarlet Pooch here for myself. Hey, how about you guys? You get to fight my servant, Ultrog, the robot gorilla.
Yeah. So yet another monkey in this book. We're going to get so many contenders for best monkey. Just
we got four nominees, Rebecca DeMonkey, Mel Gibbon, Barbara Mandrill, and Ultrog, the robot monkey.
Wow. Look at that.
It's pretty good.
Apes, you got some stiff competition.
So Kang grabs the Scarlet Pooch and he says, come on, sweetheart, pucker up. Those friends of yours don't stand a chance. And she says, I could never desert my teammates, you cad. Besides, shouldn't we get to know each other better first? But they're all trying to fight Ultrog, the robot gorilla, and they're not having any luck. But then, Jank, Ultrog gets a look at that.
Came with them to the future. He's offering people canapes.
What's his name? They're Alfred? Is he just...
I'm assuming that's supposed to be Jarvis, so they probably will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alfred. I'm confusing my butlers of superheroes.
You're so Batman now.
I know, I am. So Ultrog, he sees the Scarlet Pooch, and he falls in love with her. So he goes over and he bashes Kang the Kangaroo on the head, and he takes the Scarlet Pooch, and he's running off with her. And everyone's like, oh, we got to get her. And he does a King Kong bit where he climbs a building, and they're all trying to get him down. Vision's got a pea shooter, and old Squawk Eye, his arrows, he's not very good at his job there.
No. We'll get some great monkey dialogue here. He's just like, ook, grook, grunk, ookie, ookie, ookie. Scarlet Pooch is like, eek, sounds like fun, but can a girl at least get taken out to dinner first?
Whoa, hey now.
Tied it down for this robot monkey loving.
Well, she does like making sweet, sweet love to robots. Yeah. She's married to Vision. So, Black Panda, he has an idea. He says, hey, I'm a technological wizard. I'll come up with something. And a couple of minutes later, he has a giant metal banana.
That's right.
And the minute Ultrog sees the banana, he tosses Scarlet Pooch aside because he wants a banana. But when he peels the banana, there's a bomb inside.
Uh-oh.
Bluey blows him up, and they fly back to the present day with Kang the Kangaroo strapped to their time machine. And they get home, and what do all the newspapers say, Jack?
Well, this is Gossip Rag Quarterly. Kangaroo makes play for Pooch. She dumps him and does town with Gorilla. Juicy details inside.
And they all just pass out from embarrassment.
I don't even know how they knew about that. That was in like the 30th century. How did they get the news from that far in the future?
But that's it. That's the issue. And then you get a mail letter column called Pigpen.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Pigpen.
That's kind of perfect. I appreciate that.
It's no monkey mail, but it's all right.
Yeah, what is?
All right, Jank, so what are your thoughts? How about, let's work backwards. What did you think of that Scavengers story?
It was nice and short. That was good. I did enjoy how everyone just wanted to get with the Scarlet Witch. That was funny. And obviously in this reality, I'm in that same boat too. Hell yeah.
And also it had a robot monkey.
Yep.
I'm a big fan.
Speech, so yeah.
Big
It wasn't
fan.
bad, other than it took me a while to figure out who Black Panda was supposed to be. But
and then we have the main story here. Peter Porker. The origin story is fascinating. I thought it was great.
It really was.
I actually like the internal conflict there for Peter Porker. He's struggling just making it through the day. Peter Porker, he's having a hard time of it. He's striking out with the ladies. Doesn't know what his future holds. Doesn't know what to do with himself, Jack. And then he realizes, no, I'm still a hero. I'm still a hero. I got to go save Barbara Mandrell. And he saves her. And I'm still a little shocked that he didn't take her out on a date or something.
Yeah.
But, well, I guess he'd have to reveal his true identity. So you can't do that.
Ooh, I mean, he's done it before, I'm sure.
Could leave the mask on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
We get to see Mary Watson Waterbuffalo.
Yeah, a pivotal issue. This one's sure to be a collector's item. I'm sure it's worth a lot.
The Hobgobbler.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know.
I thought there was room for a lot more jokes than there was. It seemed to be relying a lot on the name puns of just like, oh, here's all these famous people with animal names inserted into them. Like, it felt like it was really relying on that a little bit too much. Like, if you're going to do like a parody of kind of the drama of Spider-Man No More, like, you should really put him in more situations where he's like, I would have done something where he had a bunch of situations where he should be Spider-Man, but he keeps saying no. And then, like, for the stupidest reason, he just decides to do it at the end. Like, that guy shorted me $5. I'm going to go get him. Like, something really dumb. Like, stretch it out, make it a more thematic joke all the way through. Whereas this just kind of felt random. I mean, I guess maybe if those Beagle Brigadiers come back and it's a running thing. But for this issue, it kind of felt like, I don't know, just sandwiched in there. Didn't really go anywhere.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's got a black cat and a bunch of monkeys, so I'm cool.
There were a couple jokes that really worked. Like I really did like the several tons visual gag. That was fun. And Rebecca De Monkey, even though she didn't get any lines or really do anything, you put a monkey parody of Rebecca De Mornay in something, and I'm there.
I like the two janitor guys. They were good.
Yeah. Why are you grabbing my pipe and feel like it's cardboard?
The art style is very distinctive.
Yes.
I don't know how you would do.
Pretty much any other comic.
Yeah, it's very cartoony, but it's also like I don't know, how would you describe it? Like this. I don't know. Like the snouts are really straight and
yeah, kind of squarish. Like it's
squarish cartoony. That's a good way to put it.
Cubism, maybe. I don't know.
But so I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 7. 7 out of 10.
Okay, I'll go a little bit lower. I'm gonna give it a 6, I guess. Not the worst thing in the world, but I thought it could have been better. There's room for improvement.
Well, we should also mention we learned when we were doing the Cerebus issue with Dave Sim that he believes Marvel only created Spider-Ham as a dig at Cerebus the Aardvark.
Oh, I can see that. There's got similar snouts a little bit.
Because they're involved in a legal dispute at the time. Because he was putting Wolverine parodies on the covers of his books.
A bunch of covers, yeah, in a row.
So it caused some trouble there. And then shortly after that is when Peter Porker appeared. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, turnabout's fair play.
So, all right, there it is, Peter Porker, Spectacular Spider-Ham. You'll love it.
You'll at least tolerate it.
All right, next week on the show, it's my pick, and we're going to do a book that we heard about last week.
Oh.
I never knew this existed until last week. We're going to be doing Freedom Fighters, issue 10 from 1977. This is Uncle Sam, his team of heroes. And this particular issue also features Catman.
Oh boy, we'll find out if he really does love the darkness or...
That's what we learned in the Hostess ad that had Catman in it. So next week we'll learn all about the Freedom Fighters and Catman.
Catman, right up your alley.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess that's it for this week. Until next week, once again, if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And, of course, Monkey Flip. And so until next week, don't get any jank on you.